welcome back to my channel. My name is Chanel, and this is my weekly vlog where I just talk about life and crafting, living sustainably, and everything else going on. So I would like to start off this video just to I guess preface by saying I am grieving right now. I lost my great uncle. He lived a long and wonderful life. And, even though mentally we prepare ourselves for the end, sometimes we just don't know how grief will manifest itself. It's been a little less than a week since he passed. He passed Friday night, and he was sick. He was in the hospital. And like I said, I thought I had mentally prepared myself for him to leave this earth, but I realized that it's showing up in how I am responding to things. It's hard for me to concentrate at work, and it's hard for me to just think at times. And I'm allowing myself to feel those things, and also, not to just push past my feelings. I think, especially as a quote unquote girl boss and leader, I'm responsible for so many people and other things that I feel like I'm letting people down when I'm not showing up as my best self. But it's also just take a minute. This is actually sad. I am sad for my grandmother and my great aunt, for them to watch them lose their brother. And yeah, so I want to keep going with this video, and I want to keep filming because I didn't film last week. And also, this is just a record of my 26th year of life. And I'm pretty sure I'll keep this vlog going after next year on my birthday. But I wanted to just encapsulate this moment, because there's multiple things I want to cover in this video that just shows about what's happening in this time of late September, early October 2024. So I know you noticed that there are some flowers. Okay, I know they're a little crispy right now, because it's been almost 2 weeks since I got these flowers. I was going to talk about them in last week's video, but just being in a spirit of busyness, honestly, has sort of stopped me from being able to create videos and content and everything else. I was really stressed out about my job's annual fundraiser, and then right after that I had to do a workshop for the Black Sustainability Summit the following week. And in preparation for that, I got really in my head about it, and I was so stressed to where I don't know why, I just could not make a video last week. I'm okay. I'm giving myself grace when I can't make content, and that's the first time in several weeks that I didn't that I went and skipped a week without making a video. So I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. Clearly I don't have a huge following. Nobody was like, where is Jonelle? Is Jonelle okay? And I was, and I am. If you follow me on the other social media outlets, I was still posting. But I was just like, I can't make this video right now. So I'm making it tonight, and I'm posting it tonight like I always do. And even though I'm supposed to have done it on Monday, it's Wednesday. At the end of the day, I'm here. I'm thankful to be here. And the reason why I brought up these flowers, and I think I want to get into flower pressing as well, because I see that you can make paper with dried flowers, and now I'm like, the possibilities are truly endless. But I have these flowers, and I bought them for a very special reason. Not only were they beautiful, but they went to support, directly to support folks who live in Asheville who were affected by Hurricane Helene. And I love these flowers dearly. They're so beautiful. But I think it goes back to one of my messages on this channel is voting with your dollars. And a lot of people are like, how can I do that? How can I support the victims of Hurricane Helene? Of course, you can always give directly to these organizations that support on the groundwork, like beloved Asheville. But if, sometimes you don't have as much money as you think you do, or maybe your friend's having a birthday or something's coming up, or you need to get a gift for somebody, supporting artists is another way that you can vote with your dollars. Throughout Atlanta, there have been some artists who have been displaced by Hurricane Helene, and they're here trying to sell their work, and that's how you can support them. Like, there is another wonderful being that I met about 2 weeks ago. She messaged me and asked me if there's any room whatsoever for her to sell her some of her wares at the Scrap Atlanta annual fundraiser, because she had come down to Atlanta for the weekend, and while she was gone, Helene just tore up her town. And I immediately messaged the marketing director, like, we gotta do something for her, like, give her a space. My marketing director was like, that's great, I'll do it, and I'll even put her in touch with other markets, because a lot of these people, they still need to eat, they still have to, like, find a way to make it work. And so what her business is, her name is Lauren, if I cannot remember the name of the full business. She does jewelry, she wraps up books, and you have a mystery book that you get to unlock, I guess, once you buy it from her. And I've been in my reading era. Like, I told y'all how I was reading Confessions of a Shopaholic, and for some reason I was like locked in. Like, every night I was like making sure I went to bed early so I can sit and read that tale. And so how I wanted to support Lauren was by buying one of her books. The Flowers was a different entity, and I cannot remember names right now, but there were multiple times this past month where I love to support artists in general, but I love that I was able to support more with my dollars, not just like an artist, but also support a cause, to support Asheville, to support the Free Palestine movement. Like, all of those things I've been able to support by helping out artists, and like I said, donating directly. But I know everyone is different with their finances, so let's get into this book though. I wanted to unwrap this book on the camera, because it's like, that's the fun part of this. This is content. And also, just to show you the wonderfulness that is Lauren's work. So what I liked is that there was a description. She had a really cool setup where it was all these wrap books in a description of the book. It said romance, #69. Or I think she had numbered all of her books so she can keep track of which book it was. And she does read most of the books, but she couldn't remember what this book was. And I asked her if it had any smut in it, and she was like, I don't know. Which is understandable. Maybe I don't always need to buy smut, but, I'm a reader. So the description says, romance, enemies to lovers, the way to the heart is through the tummy, and chef romance. So I was like, okay, I like this. I really wanted to, I like reading romance novels, even without smut. I just like a good, story. And a chef romance, I like to eat, so I was like, yes. But not only does she wrap up the book, she also has several great goodies with it. So one of the goodies was this incense match, where, of course, it is a match that you light up and burn, and it burns like incense. Because of what these mystery date with books are like, you're not just buying the book, you're buying the experience. So sometimes they come with things like bath salts or candles. So whenever you enjoy the book, you get to light up that candle, you get to read in the bath, you get to soak and just relax and read. That was one of those things. Then also it came with some stickers. Like, it is so thoughtfully packaged. That was one of the reasons why I just had to buy it, because I love I love packaging, and I'm actually trying to get into scrapbooking with packaging so that I can, you know, preserve this record of something that I purchased and also not just throwing these away, but journaling with them. So it says books, and instead of O's, it's a book. It says, let's go book shopping. Very cute, very cute. It's a heartbeat, and one of the little blumps are books. And y'all, please excuse my nails. I think it's time for me to get some actual nail polish. I've had some of the same nail polish for decades at this point, and I don't like all the colors. Some of them are dried up, and I learned I can recycle nail polish at Charm, which is the Center for Hard and Recycled Materials in Atlanta. I will have to make an appointment, but I'm gonna recycle the old crusty nail polish, and I'm gonna invest in some Hollow Taco nail polish because they're tin free, which means they don't have formaldehyde and a lot of the top 10 bad nail polish chemicals. And also they have a glow in the dark top coat. So I was like, yes, I need that. I'm trying to wait until Black Friday. Like, I'm making myself a shopping list and splitting money from my paycheck so that when Black Friday comes, I can buy Hollow Taco and also some Bebe shoes. But anyways, back to these stickers. I like it says Spicy Book Club. So maybe there is some smut in here and she forgot. Or maybe because it has something to do with a chef novel. That might be why. And then last but not least, it says Light It Up. Woo! So maybe there's some, you know, fieriness in here. So it comes with a bookmark. She gave me this bookmark for free because she's just a kind person. Like, I was like, I want to support your work. And so she was like, here, take this Hocus Pocus bookmark. I was like, girl, thank you. And I love how much I've been using bookmarks lately. Like, I have several, and I'm reading through several books right now. Some are like essay type books, and others are fiction books. So that's why I'm reading multiples. And then here's the bookmark that came with the book. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that it was homemade. Cause look at this. This is collage, and it's just mountains, and that's so beautiful. And also, okay, so I now gotta start unwrapping this because I can't reach these Post-it notes. Oh, I can. Actually, they're not Post-it notes. They're book flags. That's what they're called, or page flags. That's my final answer. But I've actually been wanting to get these for a while now. And even though I work at Scrap Atlanta and I could totally buy some, I'm glad that I got these here. Because, like, I like to mark recipe books up a lot. And I've been using big Post-it notes. Makes it a little difficult when you're flipping through a recipe book that you found a lot of things that you want to eat. So now that I have these, I can mark up my recipe books. Also, fun fact about me when it comes to books, I am an avid recipe book collector. I am trying to come down on that, of course, because of overconsumption. And also, like, I need to just make recipes in the books that I already have. And maybe this channel will also include some things that I've made over the next year or so. You know, it's fall, it's getting colder outside, and people are talking about their cozy era. And I think my cozy era is going to involve some baking. Not only for myself, but also for my wonderful employees, my wonderful family. Like, I want to bake as a form of gratitude. And also for me, baking is relaxing. Like, I just realized I'm a crafty girl. I like to do stuff with my hands. So when I bake, when I make cookies, and I do all those things, it's just like something for me to just focus on. So, also, she sealed this. Like, when I first started working at Creative Reuse Centers and people talked about, like, wax seals, I was like, what? They still use those? But yes, wax seals are alive and well in this country. And I just love the ephemera aspect. Okay, oh crap, I gotta break this seal. Oh wait, can I just... The thing about a live video showing me unwrapping something. It's gonna show the stressful parts. So, and plus, look at how she wrapped this. Like, I'm like, Shawty, can you come back to Atlanta for Christmas and just do a wrapping workshop? Because she had a collage that also included this postcard that said, enjoying the sunshine on the Gulf of Mexico. It's like a vintage photo. Ooh, it's making sounds. Okay. This is so beautiful. All right, I'm opening it up, y'all. I'm opening it up. Okay. Let's see what the book is. And make sure there's nothing else in here. All right. A Taste of Sage. A novel. And let me tell y'all, when I see like a Black person on the cover of, or maybe she might just be a person of color, but when I see a person of color, or one of us, on the covers of the book, I'm like, okay, so there's a Black person in this. Like, I'm already rooting for the book. And it's, okay, so it's called A Taste of Sage by Yafa S. Santos. So, okay, maybe she's Hispanic. Or maybe she's Black Hispanic. Anyways, I'm going to read this description for you guys. And I'm going to try and get through it over the next 2 or 3 weeks. So when, let's see, maybe November, when I have another vlog, I'll be like, hey guys, I read this book. This is good. But let's read it. So Lumi Santana is a chef with a gift. She can perceive a person's emotions just by tasting their cooking. Despite being raised by a single mother who taught her that dreams and true love are silly fairy tales, she decides to take a chance and puts her heart and savings into opening a fusion restaurant in Inwood, Manhattan. The restaurant offers a mix of the Dominican cuisine she grew up with and other world cuisines. With Lumi's eclectic venture fails, she takes a position as a sous chef at a staid, traditional French restaurant in Midtown, owned by Julien Dax, a celebrated chef known for his acid tongue as well as his brilliant mind. Oh, his brilliant smile. Sorry, I was so excited. I was like, ooh, they introduced him. Lumi and Julien don't get along in the kitchen, and Lumi secretly vows never to taste his cooking. Little does she know that her resolve doesn't stand a chance against Julien's culinary prowess. As Julien produces one delectable dish after another, each one tempting Lumi with its overwhelming aromas and gorgeous presentations. She can no longer resist and samples one of his creations. She is prepared for the feeling that follows as she's overcome with intense emotions. She begins to crave his cooking throughout the day, which throws a curveball in her plan to save enough money and move on as soon as possible. Plus, there's also the matter of Esme, Julien's receptionist, who always seems to be nearby and watching. As the attraction between Lumi and Julien simmers, Lumi experiences an accident that only complicates her professional plans, but her love life as well. Wow, okay, I'm excited to read this. Also, y'all, it's very special of me to read the summary to you guys, because I usually just read a book. Like, I don't read the summary, especially when it comes to romance, because what they're describing, like, either her business venture fails like the first 5 minutes of the book, or somewhere mid through, and then she meets this guy, and then the accident she experienced, it could happen in the last chapter, or it could happen like super early. So now I'm like reading with anticipation, like, okay, her business is gonna fail, she's gonna have an accident. The only thing I know is that she's gonna fall in love with this guy, and that's like, I'm reading, I'm like, when is she gonna fall in love with him? Oh wait, she's already fell in love with him, because it happens it's a romance novel. Like I said, still excited to read it. And also, just out of curiosity, let's see when this was. In 2020. Oh, okay, contemporary. And oh, they even have an author's note and stuff. Oh, recipes. Okay, great. And it has 293 pages. So I am very excited and thankful that I have a book to read. Especially as, like I said, I'm in my cozy girl era. I don't have any major projects for the rest of the year. Besides, okay, another Black Girl Crafting Comedy Night, and then I have my own sewing math tutorial, and then I'm going to Athens for an alumni sustainability panel. But you know, just the usual, just the usual. I think that's funny where I'm just like, I don't have much going on, and then I do, and like one of my board members and I were talking today about my random side quest that I take. If you guys did not know, or maybe you recognize this face, I was recently on an episode of Pictionary with my older brother. And let me tell you, that was a time. Like, at first, I got this DM from this casting agent, and she's like, we're filming in Atlanta. We need dynamic duos. Are you interested? I said, yes. You're a real person. Let me do this. Let me go on this show. But first, I hit up my boyfriend as a courtesy. I knew Fred didn't want to do it, but I'm like, I live with this man. He's right here. If I just bypassed him and surprised him about being on a game show, I think he'd be a little upset. So I told him about it. He was like, nah, I don't want to do it. So I said, perfect. I know who does. I called my big brother up. Russell was like, yes, I've been waiting my whole life to be on TV for this moment. Let's do it. Let's go. So we did it. And I keep watching the Pictionary YouTube page like a hawk because I'm like, please post that video already. Like, our episode aired on TV on Monday, and it felt very surreal because I was like, wow, I'm really on TV. And like one of my relatives just happened to watch it, and they're like, Jonelle, we saw you in Russell, congratulations. Like, I'm just like, yeah. And my friend was like, you and your random side quests in your life. What can I say? I'm like, well, let me just star in a show right quick. Let me just host a sewing class or comedy night and do this show. Like, I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, you don't have to spend 40 hours in an office every day and be sad. Like, you can spend 35 hours in that office and spend like maybe 1 or 2 hours here and there sewing something else with your life. Like, life is meant to be lived. I know that sounds weird. Well, not weird, but it sounds very cliche. But like, when I think about my great uncle and the life that he lived, he did what he wanted to do. He did. He owned a record store. He was a pimp. He had a huge house with a huge yard and decorated all types of ways and everything. And it's like, we don't know when the end for any of us is. Like today, I just learned about the passing of Liam Payne from One Direction, which I was not like, oh, what is it, a 1D'er? I don't know. I wasn't a fan of One Direction, but this guy is 31 years old. And like, I'm like, that's 5 years older than me. And he had this whole life where he was like one of the top boy bands and world famous and all those things. He, famous enough to have a controversy and all that. And then he's just gone. And I can't speak for the life that he lives. I can only speak for the life that I live. And I want to have fun while I'm here. And give back when I can. And like, I've had a lot of emotions this past week. And especially like when I was at the Black Sustainability Summit, I felt like I was home, honestly. There's so many sustainable spaces that I'm in, and sometimes it does not feel like I'm supposed to be there, or I just don't see myself there. So then I'm like, where are we? And I like how the Black Sustainability Summit, they called it like the Black Sustainability Practitioners, not professionals, not influencers or anything like that, just practitioners. You practice sustainable living. It's in your everyday life. And then so it was like, I can vibe with that. I agree with that. Practitioners. And one of the things that I was working on, because I was showing people different ways to upcycle a t-shirt. Most of the people, they just wanted to make the bracelets with the yarn in the tote bags. But another way that I showed people that they could upcycle t-shirts, and it's a very quick and easy sewing project. You can do it by hand, but you know, if I got my machine, ain't no way I'm doing it by hand. Ain't no way. I made these rags with one side a t-shirt, the other side a towel. Because if you have a towel that's worn out, you know, there's parts of the towels that's frayed or whatever, but there's still useful parts of the towel. And you have an old t-shirt that you grew out of or don't want to use anymore, you can sew them together and you have this cleaning cloth that can be used on multiple surfaces. The good thing about the towel part, depending on how old it is, it's a little rough. So that you got that abrasiveness that can, you know, I guess break up dust and everything. And then you got the smooth side of the t-shirt that just like, whoop, wipes everything off. Also, I showed people 2 different methods. You know, I know there's privilege in having a sewing machine, and there's even more privilege of having a serger. And so, like with me, I use my serger just to see the difference in how they would be made. So when you have the serger, it actually lies more flat, and you know, it's more uniform. And also, because it's a towel and it's a t-shirt, they won't really get that frayed in the washing machine. But if they already have lived a long and useful life, the serger still exposes the raw edges more than if you sew them and you just have one part where you just like tuck in the corners. Okay, that doesn't make sense. You sew the right sides together, you fold it inside out, and then you sew the rest. And the only thing about it is a little thicker. Like, it's not as flat as this because of, I'd say, what is that? Is that the seam allowance? Because like, you can cut the curves and everything so that it lays flatter. But I actually like both versions. And the reason why I was like, it's important that we make this, because I went to a craft fair and there was a woman who sold reusable paper towels. And they were like $8, which I bought one because one had really cute fabric and I really liked it. But I thought to myself, can I just make this at home? And so I did. I did. And for $8, like, you know, and I'm not going to knock her hustle. Not everyone can sew. Not everyone knows fabric properties and how to do this. So, but I'm like, $8, you could thrift a towel and a t-shirt for less than that if you just don't have it at home. But if you do have it at home, you know, this wasn't even half a regular size towel. And this was like the front side of a t-shirt. So you could probably make like a full set of these, like, you know, have some for your bathroom, have some for your kitchen, with like 2 or 3 towels and maybe 5 or 6 t-shirts. That's an option. And you can also like color code it. I really want to get into color coding more things around my house. I color code my personal notebook for, like, you know, things that have to do with journal and things that have to do with work. But if I can color code things around the house, like, you know, it helps when you're tired, especially, and when you live with other people, like, you're like, this has a meaning because of its color, so pay attention to that. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say this week. Is just a spirit of reflecting on my uncle's life and thinking about what I want for my own life. Voting with your dollars. Like I said, we got holidays coming up, y'all. Even if it's just one, if you support one artist during the holidays, like just one artist, you're helping so much way more than these big box retailers. I'll just leave it at that. And you know, upcycle. Upcycle. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna have any like tutorials on how to upcycle on my YouTube, because first of all, I barely know how to work a camera. Like, do y'all see the quality of these videos? But if I ever get any better at figuring out how do I angle the camera over my sewing table and showing you guys what I make, then yes, I will totally have some tutorials on this. But for now, I'm just gonna make these little low quality videos where y'all see me like turn the camera on and off. And once I get better, we'll see. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I actually feel better making this because it's one thing off my to-do list for the week. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye!